Hi, this is the audiobook of Jacob Have I Loved by Catherine Patterson. Chapter 8. I used to try to decide which was the worst month of the year. In the winter, I would choose February. I had figured out that the reason God made February short a few days was because He knew that by the time people came to the end of it, they would die if they had to stand one more blasted day. December and January are cold and wet, but somehow that's their right. February is just plain malicious. It knows your defenses are down. Christmas is over and spring seems years away. So February sneaks in a couple of beautiful days early on, and just when you're stretching out like a cat waking up, bang! February hits you right in the stomach, and not with a lightning strike like a September hurricane, but punch after punch after punch. February is a mean bully. Nothing could be worse, except August. There were days that August when I felt as though God had lowered a giant glass lid over the whole steaming bay. All year we have lit in the wind. Now we were cut off without a breath of air. On the water, the haze was so thick it was like trying to inhale wet cotton. I began to pray for a real blow. I wanted relief that badly. In February, the weather sometimes gave us a vacation. In August, never. We just got up earlier every morning until finally we met ourselves going to bed. Cole and I didn't get up quite as early as my father, who may have never gone to bed between tending to his floats and going out to crab, but we were up well before dawn, trying to sneak a fair catch of crabs from the eelgrass before the sun drove us from the water. I had a faint hope that the captain, not being an islander, would take the heat as an excuse to slow down a bit. But Cole fixed that. "We're coming in from crabbing early these hot mornings," he blabbed. "We could come on over here and get lots more done of a day." "I can't come before dinner," I said. "Mama expects me home to eat." "Well, fiddle whiz," Cole said. "You'll eat at 11. Don't take more than 10 minutes to eat." "We don't stuff like scavengers at our house," I said. "I couldn't possibly get there that fast. Besides, I got chores." "We'll be here by noon," he told the captain cheerily. I could have choked him. That meant at least 4.5 hours of gut-ripping work in the heat for nothing. Nothing. The captain, of course, was delighted. His one concession to the temperature was that we work indoors and not on the dock in the sun. He began planning out loud all the projects the three of us could complete by the time school opened. I managed, with a lie about my mother needing me to get away by 4:50. I wanted to get to the post office before supper. It would have been better, perhaps, if I had not, for there it was, my letter from Lyrics Unlimited. I ran with it to the tip of the island to my driftwood stump and sat down to open it, my hands shaking so that they made a poor job of it. "Dear Miss Banshaw, congratulations, you're a winner. Lyrics Unlimited is delighted to inform you that your song, while not a money prize winner, is a winner in our latest contest. Given an appropriate musical setting, your lyrics can become a popular song played on the radio waves all over America and even to our boys overseas. We urge you to let us set your words to music and give them this outstanding opportunity. You might well be the lyricist of all-time hit. You might well hear your song on the hit parade. Your lyrics deserve this chance. All you need to do is send a check or money order, no stamps please, for $25 and leave the rest to us. We will set your words to music, print the sheet music, make copies available to the people in the world of popular music. And who knows, the next song to top the hit parade may be yours. So don't lose this chance. Time is limited. Send in your $25 today and put yourself on the road to fame and fortune. Sincerely, your friends at Lyrics Unlimited. Even I, wanting so much to believe, could tell it was mimeographed, so it was not a thing that was written because she was a winner, but it was just a letter that was sent to everybody who participated. The only thing typed in was my name, and that had been misspelled. I was a fool, but I am proud to say, not that big a fool. Heartsick, I ripped the letter down to its last exclamation point and flung it like a confetti out into the water. August and February are both alike in one way. They're both dream killers. The next day, the orange tomcat reappeared. It was the same cat, I am sure, that had scarred calling me that time 4 years before when we decided to investigate the house, and the same cat that the captain had finally driven out after the first week or so he had lived there. The cat marched in through the open door as though we were the long-absent landlord popping in to check out the tenants. The captain was furious. I thought I got rid of the fool thing months ago. He got his broom and took after the huge Tom, who calmly jumped onto the kitchen table. When the captain took a swing at him there, he leaped daintily to the floor, taking a cup down with his tail. Damn it to hell! I had the capacity to imagine such language, but neither Cole nor I had ever really heard it spoken. I think we were as fascinated as we were shocked. "Captain," said Cole, when he recovered himself slightly, "do you know what you said?" The captain was still stalking the cat, and answered impatiently, "Of course I know what I said. I said, 'Captain, that's against the commandments.'" He took another futile swing before he answered, "Cole, I know those blasted commandments as well as you do, and there's not one word in them about how to speak to tomcats. Now stop trying to play preacher and help me catch that damn cat and let's get him out of here." Cole was too shocked now to do anything but obey. He ran out after the cat. I started laughing. For some reason, the captain had at last said something I thought was funny. I wasn't just giggling either. I was belly laughing. He looked at me and grinned. "Nice to hear you laugh, Miss Weeze." "You're right," I screeched through my laughter. I bet there's not one word in the whole blasted Bible on how to speak to cats." He began to laugh too. Just sat down on the kitchen stool, the broom across his knees, and laughed. Why was it so funny? Was it because it was so wonderful to discover something on this island that was free? Something unprescribed by God, Moses, or the Methodist Conference? We could talk to cats any way we pleased. Cole reappeared carrying the struggling Tom. He looked first at the captain and then at me, apparently baffled. He had never seen us laughing together, of course. Maybe he didn't know whether to be pleased or jealous. Who, puffed out the captain. "Who is going to take the damned animal back to Judy Braxton?" "Judy Braxton?" I think both Cole and I yelled. We had never heard anyone call Auntie Braxton by her Christian name. Even my grandmother, who must have been nearly the woman's age, called her Auntie. After the first shock, my feeling was one of pleasure. It really was. I no longer wanted the captain to be a Nazi spy or interloper. I wanted him to be Hiram Willis, an islander who had escaped. That was far more wonderful than being a saboteur to be caught, or an impostor to be exposed. "I'll take that cat back," I said, "if the stink don't get me first." For some reason my irrelevant description of Auntie Braxton's house triggered call. "Did you hear what she said?" he asked the captain. "If this thing don't get me first." And he and the captain were laughing their heads off. I grabbed the cat from Cole just as it wriggled free. "Come along," I said, "before I call you a stinking name or two." I wasn't quite bold enough to use the forbidden curse word aloud, but I thought of it several times quite happily as I made my way up to the path and to Auntie Braxton's house. I hadn't exaggerated the smell. The windows of the house were open, and the overwhelming ammonia essence of cat stood like an invisible wall between me and the front yard. The tongue was scratching and struggling to get out of my grasp, leaving stinging red lines all over my bare arms. If I hadn't been afraid that he would turn and run straight back to the captain's, I would have dropped him onto the front walk and run back myself. I had, however, a duty to perform, so I marched bravely up to the walk to Auntie Braxton's door. "Auntie Braxton!" I yelled her name, over unhappy cat sounds coming from the other side of the door. If I let go the Tom to knock or open the door, I might lose him, so I just stood there on the dilapidated porch and hollered, "Auntie Braxton, I got your cat!" From within, a cat howled in reply, but no human voice accompanied it. I called again. Still no answer from the old lady. It occurred to me that I might be able to push the cat through the torn window screen. I went over to the window. The hole was large enough if I stopped the creature a bit. As I stooped to do so, I saw something dark lying on the front room floor. There were cats perched on top of it, and cats walking across it. So for a minute I simply stared at it, not recognizing for what it was, a human form. When I did, I panicked. Throwing the cat down, I half tripped over it in my hurry to be gone. I raced back to the captain's house where I nearly fell over the door stoop, panting my terror. "Auntie Braxton," I said, lying dead on the floor with cats crawling all over her. "Slow down," said the captain. I tried to catch my breath and repeat myself, but after 2 words, he was already past me and walking, almost running up the path toward the old woman's house. Cole and I followed. We were both terrified, but we ran up to catch to him and stay at his heels. No matter what terrible thing was going on, we wanted to be with him and each other. The captain pushed open the door. People never knocked their houses on rats. Most doors didn't even have locks. The 3 of us went in. No one was bothering about the smell anymore. The captain knelt down beside the old woman, scattering cats in every direction. Cole and I hung back a little, wide-eyed and breathing fast. "She's alive," she said. "Cole, you go down to the dock. As soon as the ferry docks, Captain Billy's going to have to take her to the hospital." Relief washed over me like a gentle surf. It wasn't that I had never seen a bad body. On an island, you can't get away from death. But I'd never found one. Never been the first person accidentally to stumble in on death. It seemed more terrible somehow to be the first one. "Don't just stand there, Sarah Louise. Go find some men to help me carry her down to the dock." I jumped and ran to obey. It was not until later that I realized that she had called me by my full name, Sarah Louise. No one bothered, not even my mother, to call me Sarah Louise, but he had done it without thinking. Strange how much that meant to me. I got my father and 2 other men from their crab houses, and we raced back to Auntie Braxton's. The captain had found a cot mattress, and he and my father gently rolled the old woman over and lifted her to the mattress. The captain covered her with a cotton blanket. I was glad, for her thin legs seemed indecent somehow, poking out from her hated house dress. The 4 men began to leave the awkward makeshift stretcher, As they did so, the old lady moaned, like someone disturbed by a bad dream. "It's all right, Trudy, it's me, Hiram," the captain said. "I'll take care of you." My father and the other two men gave one another funny looks, but no one said anything. They get They had to get to the hospital. The hospital. This is the end of chapter 8, and I'll see you later in chapter 9. Thank you for listening.